planet, we welcome you to another exciting edition of Radio Biafra on this very day, the 20th day of April, in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2019, Shabbat evening, or should I say at the closure of Shabbat prayers this very day. The time now is approximately 1 minute past the top of the hour wherever you are. Regardless of where you are domiciled, the time now is exactly 1 minute past the top of the hour. I welcome you, and as I welcome you, I expect you to welcome other people as well, those of them who are very close by, even those who are very far. You must tell them where to go to. We are on a variety of platforms, but before I go any further, I must say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because unlike other people, this very radio station, this very noble Radio Biafra is listened to across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet. There is nowhere you go to right now that people are not huddled together around their listening device to participate and to partake in this very offering this evening. This is the very greatest university on the face of the earth. There is no doubt about it. Here we will educate. Here we will sanitize. Here we will enlighten you, that you may be considered worthy to be called a human being, or else an animal in a zoo. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. And by the very special grace of the Almighty, the Most High, I am a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra. I shall serve you until Biafra is restored and beyond, if I am required to. You must not underestimate our determination and our resolve. We are resolute. We will not retreat nor surrender. Everything that we do is to the glory of the Most High and not to the glory of man. That is why Biafra will come. And that is why Chukwukika Biama will be worshipped in the word of the ancients. Go to www.radiobiafra.co. We are on satellite. We are on CHK 102.2 FM across Biafra land. We are also on Facebook, as some of you are listening to us, and a whole host of other areas where you can also listen to Radio Biafra, like Simple Radio, TuneIn, www.ipob.org. Just search and you will find. And I welcome each and every one of you, because you have come for a divine lecture that you will not receive anywhere in the zoo university. I encourage you to bring your pen and your paper, because tonight we'll be delving into at least 4 topics. And I don't want you, by the time we get to the third one, you've forgotten the very first one that we treated. We shall dissect the zoo to let the world know that they are empty. All their titles are meaningless. Chief Justice, Justice of Attorney, Senior Advocate of News, all that rubbish is bunkum because their brains are empty. Their lawyers and their judges are useless to the core. People with a constitution but do not obey what that very constitution says. That is why they are vagabonds and that's why they are animals. That is why they inhabit the damnable zoological republic. They have no brain. They cannot reason properly. We are here to expose them. We are here to let the world understand that Nigeria is an abomination. It's a disgrace before humanity. All their PhD, SSD, we are the elite. We are the intellectuals. Rubbish! Their brains are empty. I'm here to prove it tonight. All of them. I don't know if it is that weak they wear, they are judges. That no fresh air touches their brain. They behave like baboons in the Amazon rainforest. Unbelievable. After this program tonight, you will understand why anytime any human being says I'm a Nigerian, because they are lower than a vermin. They are nothing. Believe you me, they are nothing. You will judge for yourself this very evening. I will not go, or no, neither will I proceed without calling upon Chukwukika Abiyama. This very prayer we are going to pray this evening, I have prayed for 4 years. Every blessed day I pray it. For the last 4 years, I prayed this same prayer. That Chukwukika Abiyama may be merciful upon us. Hear our prayers and deliver us from the hands of evil men, illiterate men who are not even Nigerians to start with. That is the worst part of it. They are not. I said they are not. I will prove it to you tonight. That you may know that the zoo is a complete and utter zoo. Filled with cowards everywhere who cannot rise up to speak their mind, to rise up against evil, to stand and to say that evil must come to an end. Without Abraham Lincoln, blacks will still be slaves in America till this very day. Why can't we rise up and say that something is evil and drag it down the way this wretched, decrepit, satanic APC regime is? Satanic, I say. They work for Lucifer. That I can assure you. We must proceed this very evening to pray, of course, because I'm a child of heaven, divinely ordained to preach the gospel of the restoration of Biafra without any fear nor favor. I will preach it this very evening. I will. And the world is listening to understand everything that is wrong with the zoo. I mean everything that is wrong with it. Let us bow down our heads in prayer wherever we are. After all, we answer to Chukwukika Abiyama, not to man. The names will bear us witness. I am Nnamdi, which means my Redeemer liveth. Chidekemde, my Redeemer, the Creator of heaven, they liveth. It is not a name borrowed from anywhere. It's an ancient name. It's been with us from the beginning of time. If I don't worship Chukwukika Abiyama, whom I am named after, who am I going to worship? Heaven forbid. Make haste, O Elohim, to deliver your children. Come very speedily to help us, because we are surrounded by enemies and dark forces from the Sahel. The children of darkness have risen with their cattle to descend upon those who have chosen to bring light to Africa. Therefore, Chukwukika Abiyama, you must hurry. And they will all be ashamed, all of them, and thrown into confusion that seek to hurt us. O Elohim, you will chase them back, all of them, and put them to confusion as you're doing today. All of them that kill your children and pillage your holy land of Biafra. Come and drive them back in their own shame. Let their humiliation be their reward. Because they laughed at us. They made mockery of us. Because they kill us. and we have never retaliated. But the time is coming. Very, very soon. Shame shall befall them. Shame shall accompany them. Shame shall be behind them. All of them that have risen against IPOB. Let all of us that seek thee, Umu Chineke, those that you created into your light in Africa, that development and civilization may come through Biafra into black Africa, because without Biafra, there will be no Africa, there will be no civilization, there will be no human advancement. Therefore, we are your project, O most holy one. Come and redeem us. Let all of us that seek thee and rejoice in your holy name, all of us that love thy salvation, may we continually say, let the name of our Lord God be magnified. Let the name of Elohim be praised. Let the name of Chukwokikabiama be exalted. Because we are poor and needy. We have no one to fight for us. Those that claim that they know your scriptures, those that brought us New Testament, those that told us that the way of the ancients is not the correct way, they have abandoned your children. The same people that brought us the Bible, they have abandoned us. They are now following Quran and asking them, the children of darkness, to come and slaughter those that you have blessed. This was never your plans for us. If we have offended thee in any way, in our speech, in our thought, in our conduct, please be merciful upon your children. Hurry and come and deliver us. Hurry and come and save your children. Because only you can deliver us. Only you can command and Biafra will come. It is not by our might. It is not by our power. It is not through anything that we may have done or said. Only by your grace will Biafra come. We dedicate all that we are unto your loving arms and pray that you do not delay to come to the rescue of your children, that Biafra may come in our time and your name exalted and lifted up, that the world may know that Biafra is your land, that the world may know that this very IPOB was ordained by thee. To your eternal praise and glory, our Lord and our God, Chukwukika Biama, we pray. He said, we must now proceed without any hesitation to present our facts and our figures this very evening. If you don't have a pen and a paper, you are missing a lot. Believe me, you will not learn very much. You need a pen and a paper to be able to follow this very lecture this evening. You will not get it anywhere else. I want to prove to the world that all those idiots you see with their wig, Esquire, a court of appeal justice, rubbish. Their brains are empty. They don't even know what they are supposed to be doing. They run what amounts to some kind of business. It's a franchise, a cabal that extends into every nook and cranny of governance in the zoo. All of them. Tonight we let them bear. Get a copy of the Constitution. I've asked Amaka, my deputy Chemefo, everybody, get a copy of the Constitution of the damnable Zoological Republic, 1999. We will not leave it alone. When I want to destroy them, I go back to what they said they are going to do in their own document. Because before you swear anybody into office, be they the president, be they the vice, be it a high court judge, even a customary court judge, even a governor, anybody, they must hold this document. You know what they say? To uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's what they all say. But none of them, I say not one soul, not even INEC, adheres to the same laws that they proclaimed publicly that they are going to uphold. Let's start. When I tweeted on this very program tonight, I said, or I was paraphrasing what great minds said before me. In civilized parts of the world, ignorance of the law is no excuse. You cannot say, I don't know what the U.S. Constitution says, but you're looking for a U.S. visa, you go there and you mess up, you go to jail. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But in Nigeria, in the zoo, ignorance of the law is the certificate you need. You have to be ignorant of the law. That is the qualification you need to become a Chief Justice of the Federation or a senior advocate of Nigeria. Ignorance of the law is all you need, because I'm about to prove it to you. This evening, we are going to focus on four key areas in order to appreciate the mess, confusion and hopelessness Nigeria and Nigerians are in. The funniest thing is that they don't know. You see them speaking borrowed English, copy and paste English. They don't even understand what they are doing. I said from top to bottom. More especially Yoruba media proprietors. All of them, they know nothing. We are here to prove it. I am about to tell you something that you know, the dead Buhari that died in 2017. Major General Muhammadu Buhari that died. Anytime I mention Buhari, you must know he's dead. The dead Buhari and his replacement, Jubril Aminu al-Sudani. Buhari was occupying the office till 2017 when he died, and they brought in Jubril to take over. Do you know that even the dead Buhari is not qualified to run for the presidency of Nigeria? Do you know that? This evening I'm going to prove it to you. And it is in their constitution. The fact that you are born in Nigeria doesn't mean that you can run for office. No, it doesn't mean that. No, it doesn't. We will go back to their constitution tonight to see exactly what their law says about eligibility to run. Listen carefully. Don't confuse the two, Jubril and the dead Buhari. I am telling you tonight that INEC is so useless that they failed to pinpoint this very fact, that even the dead Buhari, in whose name Jubril is ruling, those of you unfortunate enough to still be in the zoo, is illegal and unconstitutional. INEC is a mess. I'll prove it to you. Now listen again. In the zoo constitution, because some idiots who are not well read said, you don't need WAEC to become president. Rubbish. I'll prove it to you tonight. That without WAEC, you cannot become the president of Nigeria if the courts, if the police, if INEC, if they know what they are doing. If you don't have WAEC result, you cannot be a governor. You cannot be a president in the zoo. That is what their law says. Anybody telling you otherwise is talking rubbish, and I'll prove it to you tonight. Forget all the nonsense they are preaching to you about the interpretations. I have it here in front of me, and I'll prove it to you that they are talking a whole lot of bollocks. Excuse my language. Our question tonight for INEC is this: or any election tribunal, the Nigerian judiciary, the likes of Binta Nyako, Nago, legal establishment, the so-called elite and intelligentsia, we the elite. Elite. Oh dear. Is there anybody amongst them who amongst them determined that the dead Buhari, the late one, and even now Jubril, the Sudanese, should contest for the presidency when they have no WAEC result? That is what the law says. You must have WAEC. If you don't have WAEC, you cannot contest. Who said they must contest? Knowing fully well they don't have WAEC. It doesn't matter if you have PhD. This is one thing about black people. We don't reason very well sometimes. The law says you must have something. It doesn't matter if you went as far as getting the highest qualification in the land. No. That is how and why some of you fail exams. You abandon the question, you start providing a totally irrelevant answer. They don't have any WAEC, both the dead Buhari and Jubril. None. So everything this present tribunal is doing is wasting their time. I will prove it to them tonight. And they are quack san. Quack nenagang school. Charewu san. We'll also look into tonight the role of INEC in the subversion and undermining of the governing document, which is the constitution of the zoo. This night from here, we will educate the world, all of us together, on how Fulani Caliphate used INEC to undermine the foundational laws, the governing principles of, I said Yakubu, before him Jega, how they used INEC to subvert the law itself. And how the ignorance, cowardice, and betrayal of Nigerians, of the judiciary, of Yoruba media, because of Tinubu, they want Yoruba man to be president in 2023. They abandoned every principle, every honor, every dignity. They have none. I weep. The only journalist I loved in that very contraption called Nigeria is Delegiwa. Delegiwa. Such men don't exist anymore within the realm, as they call themselves, of the fourth estate. They don't exist anymore. What you have now is cash and carry journalism. On an office, you're slaughtered in Enugu in a pool of blood. Where is a man that died of heart attack? Slaughtered in a pool of blood. You can see how evil people are, and they are journalists. They are journalists. No conscience. They don't even think about the repercussions on ordinary people, on poor people. That there is slaughter and mayhem in Nigeria today is because of Yoruba media. They never report the truth. When they were killing IPOB, they kept quiet. Now there's slaughter going on everywhere. Or they thought it wouldn't get to them. It has gotten to them. We shall look into it tonight as well. The Fulani reign of terror and impunity, aided and abetted by INEC, by the judiciary, by police, by DSS, and by Yoruba media. Yoruba media. I have Yoruba friends. There are brave Yoruba men, don't get me wrong, and women. And I'm friendly with most of them. But you see, that same Yoruba media that chased Babangida from office, that I give them credit to, I'm being very honest. This same Yoruba media chased away Babangida. This same Yoruba media brought about the demise of Abacha. This Yoruba media. And they removed Jonathan from office. Where are you now that people are dying? What are you people writing now? Why are you condoning evil? Why are you supporting Satan in all his works that he's doing? Destroying innocent lives all over the place. Because Tinubu wants to, a Yoruba man wants to be president in 2023. That's all. Because of that, you abandon every shred of ethic and principle in your life to support evil. It won't be well with all of you. We shall look upon it tonight. But before we do so, also, we must also look at the extension of the tenure of, is it Ibrahim Tanko, the Sharia chief judge of the zoo. You will understand tonight also that, do you know you can go to Arabic school, become a Sharia judge, without delving into common law? You can become a Sharia judge, and from there you'll be appointed to the Supreme Court without any knowledge of English language. And you become, if you're lucky, or if a Fulani man is on the throne, Chief Justice of the Zoo. Based on, go and read your, it's there in, some of you don't even read the Constitution. Go and read it very, very well. That is where I base everything I'm saying tonight. So nobody will say that anything was forged or concocted. No, from your own Constitution. The time now is getting very close to 26 minutes past the top of the hour, wherever you are. In everything we do in life, listen very carefully, please. There is always criteria. You must be qualified for something. If you're not up to maybe 4 years of age, you cannot go to kindergarten. Do you understand? You may go to a creche as a baby. That is a criteria. The criteria says you have to be maybe 4 years old to go to kindergarten. Follow this very carefully. In some countries, before you can drive, you have to be 16 or maybe 18. Before you can drink alcohol, you be 21. That is the criteria. Before you can take alcohol, you must be 21 years of age. That is the criteria you must meet before they allow you to consume alcohol. Follow this very carefully, please. Even before you get married, where I come from, in the basin of Biafra, in Igbo land, before you must pay bride price. That is the criteria. For you to qualify to marry a woman, you must be able to afford the bride price, or maybe your parents or your relatives can give it to you. That is your business. But you must present. That is a criteria. You know alligator pepper and kola nut. It must be preyed upon, caught, and eaten by the folks. If that is not done, everything you're doing is babash. That is the key in marriage in our land. That is the key, the essence of it all. I'm pointing all these things out so you understand what criteria means. Some people don't know the meaning of it. They think, oh, criteria is WAEC. If he likes now, he went to mom's college, he went to all the shops, he went to American War College. No, the law says WAEC. School SAT, it says, but we are coming to prove to you that school SAT is WAEC in a very short while. There are people, especially those that register or enroll you when you go to school, or even university. It is their duty to check your WAEC result, check your JAMB result, to make sure you are qualified before you are admitted to undertake any undergraduate studies in any university anywhere in the world. You just can't present yourself and claim you have to take a degree. Oh, because I went to somewhere before and I did HND. Because they said, we want to see your WAEC result. It doesn't matter because you can go somewhere and forge documents or enroll through the backyard. We want to see it. You just can't appear from nowhere and claim that you are something that you're not. Never, ever, ever. This night we are going to demonstrate beyond every reasonable doubt that INEC is not fit for purpose. You see that useless INEC? It should not even function at all. They have failed to perform their statutory duty of due diligence to ensure that candidates meet the minimum threshold to vie for the office of the President of Nigeria. Some people wonder why I'm interested in exposing the intellectual limitation of your average Nigerian judge, your legal practitioner, or so-called fumbling elite. The reason is very simple. I want the international community tonight to know why we IPOB cannot be a part of the madness called Nigeria, where people have written down rules and laws but have refused to obey or adhere to them. What Mesopotamia managed over 4,000 years ago, some so-called educated Africans still cannot manage in this day and age. If you cannot obey the laws that you have written down yourself, you are worse than a pig. A pig is better than you. You can't obey your constitution with a pig. You are an animal, not an animal. Let us begin by looking at the key events of the week. You can imagine the horror that most people felt when they heard that a senior legal practitioner in the zoo, senior advocate of nuisance, as they have tagged him, he made a complete mess, an idiot of himself. And some people joined him without even the benefit of researching what the baboon was saying. He said that Jubril Buhari does not need WAEC to contest for the presidency. But these are your senior advocates. And one day, who knows, they will become a judge and they will be interpreting the constitution. Do you see how they rose up there? The lives of let people go. One day, this person will aspire to become a judge. He does not even know simple written English. He doesn't understand it. These people who claim they are senior advocates of Nigeria, they, oh dear me. You know, they interpreted school certificate, which is WAEC. If you're as old as I am, you know that school cert is WAEC. Everybody knows that. To mean first school living certificate. That is primary 6 living certificate. Unbelievable. Some will say, oh, but he's right. First schema is right. You don't need qualification. Hi, I was mortified, shocked, and horrified. This is the reason why Jubril cannot be sworn in. This is the reason why the dead Buhari should not have been president. They have no WAEC result. None whatsoever. And the law is very clear on it. And we shall look at it in a short while. Get your constitution ready, please. These, in fact, some badly educated journalists as well. Very sad. From across the board. Not just Yoruba journalists. Without the benefit of well-researched information, concurred by some of them screaming across their headlines. Keyamo is right. WAEC certificate not compulsory for presidency. Hi, I wept. At this point, I knew that Nigeria is the most useless and hopeless place for any sane being to find him or herself in. Poor knowledge of written English, simple English, and failure to grasp the very basic and mundane nuances of the beautiful language of English is the reason why PhD holders are making a complete mess of themselves in the zoo. They don't even understand English language. That's how sad it is. They want us to accept that education doesn't matter. Competence doesn't matter. Skills don't matter. As long as it's going to you're president of the zoo. That's all they're trying to tell you. They are misinterpreting the constitution to help the almighty that does not go to school so they can become president. Some of you don't know it. Some of you from the so-called southern zoo, southern Nigeria. You claim you're red, you're intellectuals. You are nothing. Fulani is playing games with you. They come and bribe some of you that can barely read or write. So you're talking nonsense. Education doesn't matter. Who told you that it doesn't matter? Who told you? When you are expected to go out to the outside world to negotiate, to discuss, to agree treaties and agreements, and all you need is first school living certificate, primary 6, are you well at all? Oh dear me. We'll continue. Tell me how such a country can make meaningful progress. Oh dear me. How can the citizens ever aspire to meet their full potentials? It's unbelievable. Let us now together educate ourselves this evening as to what the Constitution of Nigeria says. If you go to chapter 1 of the Constitution, I want to lay what is called a preamble. I want to lay the foundation so the world can understand. So when I delve into this document, you'll understand the enormity of it. It carries weight. Chapter 1, General Provision, 1999, Federal Constitution of Nigeria, whatever they call it. It says in part 1, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Section 1, subsection 1. This, I'm reading what the law says in the zoo because this document is supreme and I will prove it to you now. This is in the Constitution itself. The Constitution is supreme. Listen carefully. And its provisions shall have binding force on the authorities and persons throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It doesn't matter who you are. DSS Director General, if you're Abak Yari, the President, the Vice, Police IG, it doesn't give. You are bound by what is written in this Constitution because this was what you swore to uphold, and to defend. It says you are not above the law. That's what it's saying here. So when Jubril or Abba Kyari will send out police to go and kill people, pretending as if they're above the law, and they do what Oga say, they are breaking the law. Because number one, or in the Zuko, it says this very clearly. Chapter 1, General Provisions, Part 1, 1.1 says, this constitution is supreme, and its provisions shall have binding force on the authorities and the persons throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nobody's above the law. That's number one this evening. I'm trying to establish. So INEC, Jega and his unlearned brother Yakubu, they're not above the law. But they keep making laws for INEC that is not in the constitution. And some of you are jumping up and down. PVC, card reader, rubbish is their own making because they want to rig elections for their fellow Fulani people. Number 2 says, now listen please, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall not be governed, nor shall any persons or group of persons take control of the government of Nigeria or any part thereof, except in accordance with the Constitution. So Fulani Cabal is finished. And this is the key point that we have been trying to make Bianyako understand. And Nigerian judiciary, but they have no brain, they won't understand it. This law, this very constitution says this. If any other law, it doesn't matter who made the law. It doesn't matter if it's from National Assembly. It doesn't matter if it is Akaja. All that Akaja nonsense I was telling you about a few weeks ago. It says here, if any other law is inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution, this Constitution shall prevail. And that other law shall, to the extent of its inconsistency, be void. What am I saying? When they say to you in the court of law that no offense is bailable, they are lying. Because in the Constitution, every offense is bailable. When you say to them, you have held Justice Ude and the rest for up to 3 months, they're entitled to automatic bail, and the judge says, no, Akaja gives me power to decide. I have discretion. Tell them no. Because that very part of your Akaja is in direct conflict with a constitutional provision, and the Constitution is supreme. Judges don't know this. They have not read this very document. Nigerian judges don't read their own constitution. They don't, but they are meant to interpret it. They don't read it. Now we have laid the foundation. Let's proceed. All I have done is to lay the outline upon which a compelling case can be made or built, but more importantly understood by the common man and woman on the street. Now we have agreed that the Constitution is supreme. Let us see what it says about who is qualified to contest for the presidency and who is not. For this, we turn to this same Constitution to understand why I have insisted that Biafra shall be a country comprised of many nations making laws in local languages, so the fraud and deception going on in Nigeria right now will not be replicated in Biafra. Nigerian judges, their lawyers, their journalists, and their pastors, even their imams, vice chancellors, I'm telling you this, do not understand simple written English. And I will prove it tonight. Onogan's removal is a case in point. And tonight, they have said today that they have renewed the acting CJ for another 3 months, which is against the law, and is here. Onogan's removal have exposed the Fulanization agenda being championed by Abba Kyari and the cabal handling Jubril Aminu al-Sudani. Why do I say this? Please go to chapter 5 of your constitution. Go to chapter 5 of this very constitution, please. It is very, very critical, very, very important. It is, chapter V11 is 7, isn't it? It's called the Judicature, Part 1, the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Let us see what Jubril did today to Onogan, if it is legal or not. This is their constitution, no? And the people perpetrating this disregard for the cardinal law of the land, they are all judges, chief justices. They are the ones undermining the constitution of the country. What does it say? It says here, the appointment of a person, that is 23, section 231, 1 of the constitution. It says here, I've asked Amaka to be posting all these things as I outlined them. The appointment of a person to the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria shall be made by the President on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, subject to confirmation of such appointment by the Senate. The appointment of a person to the office of a Justice of Supreme Court shall be made by... Now, we continue. Let us go to number 4 and 5. Listen carefully. About Chief Justice of Nigeria. Listen, please listen carefully. It's English, but I'll take it very slowly so you understand it. Number 4. 2314. I want the judges of Nigeria to listen very carefully to the laws that they are disobeying. NJC, that useless, toothless, hopeless group of idiots. NJC, I want to prove to them and to the world that they are useless tonight. Number 4 says, this is 231 number 4. It says, if the office of the Chief Justice of Nigeria is vacant, or if the person holding the office is for any reason unable to perform the functions of the office, then until a person has been appointed to and has assumed the functions of that office, or until the person holding has resumed those functions, the President shall appoint the most senior Justice of the Supreme Court to perform those functions. They sacked Honoren. I don't even want to contest the legality of it. Let us now go to number 5 that qualifies number 4. It says here, listen carefully, except on the recommendations of the NJC. Recommendation of NJC, not Jubril, not Abakari, not Asorok. So, even from this opening line, the extension of the tenure of Tanko, the present acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, is illegal. Number 1, to start with tonight. Because the recommendation did not come from NJC. All they did was to rubber stamp it. This is the Constitution. It continues. An appointment pursuant to the provision of subsection 4, which I told you before is our reference point, shall cease to have effect after the expiration of 3 months from the date of... In other words, after 3 months, Tanko should be gone. But they have renewed his appointment so he can see them through the rigging going on at the tribunal. That's another form of legalized rigging. What does Constitution say? It says here, and the President, listen, this is the Constitution of Nigeria. You know all those elites, learned men, learned women with wig all over the place. My Lord, our Lord, his Lord. Nonsense. This is the Constitution. What does it say about Jubril and what they did today? In extending Tanko's tenure, it says here, the President, listen, the President shall not reappoint a person whose appointment has lapsed. That is the Constitution of Nigeria. In other words, once you appoint Tanko into that office and his tenure is gone, he is gone. That is what the Constitution says. It is trying to force you to make sure you appoint a substantive chief judge. But here you are, learned men, learned women, jumping up and down all over the place. They don't know the law, their own law, their own constitution, they don't know it. The law says that after the first 3 months, you do not reappoint that very person, never.